Welcome everybody. What a great day to be in Montreal today. My name is Raphael Ronan, co-executive director of INOVAIT, which is Canada's national image-guided therapy and AI network. It's an honor today to be able to welcome the Honorable Evan Solomon, Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation, and Minister responsible for the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario. Minister.
Thank you. First of all, it's great to be here. You noticed I was on my phone there. That was not an act of distraction. I will be in 37 minutes. I have to do a parliamentary vote, and I have to vote on my phone. So welcome to the world here. Luckily, we can. So I'm not in Parliament today. But because we're a minority government, every vote counts. So I have to check my phone for the votes. And then at 3 o'clock on the nose, I will, please excuse me, I'll be listening, but I will be voting. So I just, if I miss the vote, then this will be a great short career, and it'll be great to be here. So I'll do that. Anyway, look, it's good to be here, and it's good to be doing things a little differently in every way. A lot of what we do in politics is we talk about cool things. Today we're going to show cool things and really demonstrate companies that are changing the world. This morning at my keynote address, I talked about AI in the service of people. And there is no sector, no place more important than when it comes to your personal health. And you know, as a father of 2 kids, and my wife and I, you know, we both come from close and large families. The healthcare system's taking care of the most precious parts of your life, your kids, your parents, yourselves. It's important, and your friends. And so seeing how AI changes that is incredible. When you see how AI can help doctors detect disease earlier, and I've seen incredible companies do that, if it makes surgeries more precise, and there'll be a great demonstration tomorrow, and we'll talk about that. I wish I could be there. I'll be back in Ottawa for a cabinet meeting and then back here again, but that's going to be incredible to see today. When it supports clinicians who are making diagnosis faster and making better decisions, we're literally saving lives, and that matters, especially in a country that prides itself on good, fair, equitable public health care. And that's the future, and we need to adopt it. Created by Canadians, for Canadians. I will say on behalf of the health minister as well, Marjorie, who's a remarkable minister, she sends her best and is looking forward to seeing these kinds of innovations as well. So, I want to welcome everyone to INOVAIT, the Pilot Fund Healthcare Showcase. And I think, because they're noisy, we can be noisy. So give them a hand for the INOVAIT Pilot Healthcare. That's right. 3 out of 5 Canadians will rely on medical imaging this year. Imagine these technologies enhanced by AI. That's happening. Helping spot patterns, guiding procedures, and making healthcare more effective. It's a transformational experience. Today we are announcing, and we're delighted to announce, $2.5 million in federal funding to support 17 groundbreaking healthcare AI projects across Canada that are driving nearly $8 million in total project value. That's a multiplier effect of strategic investment and how we're going to build this economy for everyone. Since 2020, so for the past 5 years, INOVAIT has really had an incredible track record and supporting Canadian companies in image-guided therapy and AI. And it's been really important, and I want to thank you for the work you've done. In 2027, in just 2 years, the federal government will have invested $49 million in this initiative, with over $41 million distributed to organizations across the country. So a real important partnership, and we love working with INOVAIT. Canadians have led the AI revolution, but leadership is about service and putting those inventions and that innovation to work for people. The best predictor of a productive society is a healthy society. And AI is a big part of this, keeping Canadians healthy and helping our medical team and all our medical professionals serve Canadians more efficiently. Okay, so we're here to focus on commercialization and adoption through networks like INOVAIT, and our pan-Canadian strategy, our AI strategy, and our innovation clusters. Raphael is going to introduce you in a second to some remarkable Canadian companies, some of whom I've met, developing technologies that span the healthcare spectrum, and they are awesome. So this is kind of why one of my favorite moments here, because we're seeing AI in action with Canadian purpose. So without further ado, I'm going to throw it back to Raphael, sit back, and I will just give you one last message. Maybe you're an investor. Maybe you know a VC fund or an angel investor. These are the companies to think about. Invest in Canadian companies. Raphael, over to you.
And the mics go down. Thank you so much, Minister Solomon, for those kind words. And thank you, everyone, at All In for being and joining here today and joining us. Why this is so exciting is because medical imaging and artificial intelligence really are a perfect pairing. Medical imaging contains a huge amount of high-quality data, and we need to process that data very quickly to draw conclusions. And this really is a place for artificial intelligence to shine and help our clinicians make the best decisions for patients. To date, INOVAIT has invested in 86 industry-focused R&D projects involving over 100 Canadian companies. Across these projects, INOVAIT members have developed and protected intellectual property, received regulatory approvals that allows them to be used in patient care, and created and maintained hundreds of jobs across the country. We are exceptionally proud of their accomplishments. 5 years after we started the INOVAIT network, the significance that AI plays and will play in healthcare is growing every day. I thank Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada, and specifically the Strategic Response Fund, for their foresight in investing in this sector and for trusting us. But we're here today to celebrate our 2025 Pilot Fund awardees. The Pilot Fund round demonstrates the breadth of scientific and engineering excellence in our country's ventures and research labs. All 17 of the selected projects are led by Canadian image-guided therapy company working with partners across the country. These projects strengthen the Canadian image-guided therapy sector, but more importantly, they're going to bring down the cost of healthcare, and they're going to improve healthcare for patients. Now, without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce the project leads for the now announced 2025 Pilot Fund. So, from west to east, from Vancouver, AI for Eyes Medical Technologies, Meta Optima Technologies, NZ Technologies, and Views ML Technologies. From Kitchener, Vena Medical, from Hamilton, iMerge, from Burlington, Santis, from Toronto, Light Matter Interaction. From La Belle Province, we have Callum Health Solutions from Montreal and MedSant from Quebec. From St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, we have Pragmaclin Research. The 6 remaining leading Pilot Fund projects will now come up and share their innovative projects with us. So I would first like to invite up Joseph Gianflone from Dova Health. Joseph?
Thank you, Raphael. Thank you, Mr. Simon. Pleasure to meet you. Bonjour tout le monde. Premièrement, c'est un plaisir, un honneur d'être ici et invité pour vous introduire à Dova Health. D'abord, nous voulons remercier le ministre et ses équipes, surtout l'équipe à All In et tout le monde dans le réseau, ainsi que les équipes du Scale AI et All In, pour tous leurs efforts et leur appui cette semaine et toujours. Keeping us on pace here, Dova Health, what do we do? It's all about image-guided therapy in the GI space. So we're a Canadian company that sits with management-wise between Vancouver and Montreal with our engineering hub in Ottawa. We maintain a small presence in Germany and the United States to help our clinical and regulatory validation. But what we're attacking fundamentally is enabling image-guided therapy and medical advancement within the GI space with a particular emphasis at first on IBD. That results in medical-grade software as a medical device, ready for deployment in multiple verticals within healthcare. As you can see, the best way to characterize what we do is to start with what the problem is. When we go into our specialists, we produce a wealth of procedural data, which is often hard to access throughout the medical system. What that means is it needs the proper encoding and data structures to be well analyzed. It also typically needs to be read by a human being instead of a diagnostic engine, which is what we build, as well as the ingestion support. And finally, because of the human interaction in the current system, there's a lot of variability. What this all means is missed opportunity for diagnosis, for advancement, for clinical and research endpoints to really advance disease treatment. Excitingly, these are all problems within the endoscopy space that Dova Health has solved. There'll be an interesting announcement in the next week or two in Germany at the UEG conference, which we believe is a global AI first in terms of flipping a clinical result. And just as of Friday, we've solidified our partnership with the Mayo Clinic to really commercialize our visual technology that works through endoscopy. It's on that platform and momentum for innovation that we are so excited to announce our INOVAIT pilot project helps us bolt ultrasound onto that modality. This is done in collaboration with a number of people within the ecosystem, and particularly the Centre Recherche here in Quebec, the IBD Center, of course with INOVAIT support, and down the line with digital support as well in commercialization. Why this is important is very simple. Ultrasound is a much less invasive, much more efficient and less costly form of medical imaging, diagnostic monitoring, and potential endpoints for new clinical and pharmaceutical therapies. Moving this technology into a useful space and enabling it should rapidly advance treatment possibilities as well as drug development for the growing population of IBD sufferers in the world. Importantly, as this is a project built in the Canadian ecosystem, where obviously we understand that trust, ethical behavior, and security are all priorities for innovation, we'd be remiss not to mention that this is done with de-identified data, i.e. no relation between the physiology we study and train on and the patient. This is done in a secure end-to-end modern cloud with an API architecture and defense in-depth strategy. So again, we want to thank INOVAIT, its partners, the Minister for their funding to really help us continue to expand the space for innovation, clinical treatment, and advancement for patients globally. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joseph. I'd now like to invite Azar Azad from AI Valley to come up, please.
Hello. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Just making sure I've got your...
Hi everyone. I'm the CEO. I'm Azar Azad, CEO and co-founder of AI Valley. In 2023, almost 1% of our population suffered from inflammatory bowel disease. The cost for healthcare system was over $5 billion. In IBD, increased intestinal permeability is one of the it directly links to the disease activity, often proceed to the relapse. Therefore, it's a very important criteria to be able to evaluate that one. Unfortunately, the current technologies are not really practical and they are very cumbersome. So during the, if you ask the clinicians, they actually like to be able to use the regular colonoscopy procedures, have a tool that enables them that quantitatively measure the permeability of the gut, and be able to assess accurately the healing process. That healing process is actually responding to the treatment. So during the last few years, my team collaborated closely with the leading GI clinicians at McMaster University and the engineering group at McMaster. We actually built a prototype. That prototype, now with the INOVAIT funding, is ready for going to the clinical evaluation. And that clinical evaluation enabling us to independently working with key opinion leaders for the IBD at McMaster, at University of Alberta and McGill University, evaluate the validation of this prototype. So I think I missed. It doesn't go back. Yes. So for this procedure, we are using 3 different products. The first one is Adria platform, which is an agnostic AI platform enabled to evaluate quantitatively all of the information during the procedure, and it is actually fully regulatory compliant. The second product is a scope tracker. Again, without any specific technology, we can actually bring a 3D mapping of the organ in real time. And the third part of it is using a safe dye in injecting it to the patient and quantitatively measure the permeability of the gut. So practically, with these 3 safe, reliable, accurate procedures, we will convert the regular colonoscopy to a real functional image-guided therapy with quantitative measurement done by the AI. In our next step, we are actually, with this funding, generate intellectual property. We are able to expand it and scale it up to the national level, and we are very grateful for the real support of INOVAIT and the government. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Azar. I'd now like to invite up Blake Van Berlo from Deep Breathe. Blake?
Hi, great to meet you, Minister. Thank you very much. All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Blake, and I'm Deep Breathe's Director of Machine Learning. And today I'd like to talk to you about how the Pilot Fund is going to help us to produce life-saving technology. Now, I'd like to start with a scenario. Suppose that you're an emergency medical technician and you're tasked with rescuing an injured hiker in a remote region. Now, you suspect that they might have a collapsed lung, and you should either deal with that right away or you should rule it out right away, because a collapsed lung can actually get worse when you're airlifting a patient, resulting in cardiovascular collapse. Now, even if you don't suspect or you don't see any evidence of a collapsed lung, you should monitor in flight anyways, because one can develop or worsen in flight. So, what are your options today for assessing this hiker? Well, let's take a look at how a collapsed lung is diagnosed today. Typically, we start with a physical exam, and this involves looking for signs and symptoms of a collapsed lung, but really, as you can see, it's not very accurate, unfortunately, but it can be done at the site of the patient. Unfortunately, X-ray is a non-starter. You can see that the accuracy of an X-ray is a bit better, but it's a non-starter because they're typically restricted to hospital settings. Ultrasound is a relatively new imaging modality that has been shown in the literature to have a really good diagnostic accuracy for collapsed lung, but that's provided that you're using it correctly, which unfortunately, the training for ultrasound is typically only restricted to a few sets of individuals. So in reality, the accuracy is actually about 59%. So what can we do to improve this? Well, Deep Breathe is addressing this gap with our AI Tactical Lung Assessment System, or ATLAS for short. This is a mobile application that automates lung ultrasound diagnostics. To be helpful in a variety of settings, we have built ATLAS to run real-time and to be wicked fast on device and to not require any internet connection whatsoever. Complete with guidance to find the right spot in the chest where to image the lung, ATLAS is compatible with any mobile device and a number of ultrasound manufacturers. Truly, it delivers on the promises of ultrasound: portability, safety, affordability, and reliability. It is applicable in many areas, in hospitals, in military scenarios, and in rural and remote settings, and we do believe that it'll be helpful in the pre-hospital setting too. However, being in the air ambulance offers some unique challenges, namely the high vibration, and in addition, working in a cramped space. This is where the Pilot Fund comes in. We are partnering with STARS, one of Canada's largest air ambulance service providers, to build ATLAS Pre-Hospital. a pre-hospital version of Atlas. And we are going to, one, fine-tune our AI algorithms using data collected from harsh environments. Two, improve the usability of Atlas so that it works better for EMT's workflows. And then three, we're going to compare Atlas use against unguided ultrasound acquisition by STARS Medics. Now note, this is not a small project. We all know that clinician and engineering time is very expensive. So the pilot fund is really going to help us to get this life-saving tech in the hands of those who need it. But why do we think that Atlas pre-hospital is going to make a difference? Well, we've already shown that in a hospital setting, Atlas improves the diagnostic accuracy of a collapsed lung significantly, bring it up to like 90%. And in addition, it doesn't require much user training either. Going back to our hiker who's being worked up for a collapsed lung, Atlas pre-hospital would help that medic be able to assess the injured hiker right where they are and to monitor them confidently during in-flight. But more importantly, it would provide that medic with the confidence that they need to make these life-changing decisions. Thank you very much for listening.
How often does that occur? Would you have to do an assessment on every, only if you see the signs and symptoms of a collapsed lung, so someone's having difficulty breathing?
Thank you very much, Blake.
That's happening quite often.
I'll now invite Mackenzie Bacon from INOVAIT.
Hi, Mackenzie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mackenzie.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm Mackenzie Bacon, CEO and co-founder of INOVAIT. We are leveraging artificial intelligence to improve endobronchial ultrasound in lung cancer. A sad statistic is that more Canadians will die from lung cancer than cancer of the breast, colon, and prostate combined. We know that proper staging is critical to ensuring that the patient receives the right treatment at the right time. However, many times there isn't enough diagnostic information to indicate whether or not what type of treatment this patient will need. There is a technique used in 85% of patients with lung cancer called endobronchial ultrasound transbronchial needle aspiration. And this technique is heavily operator dependent and requires a lot of skill and mastery. This is why we have built INOVAIT. This is the world's first AI technology for the use of determining malignancy in lymph nodes. Our technique is over 85% accurate, which is double the standard of care, which is currently only 45% accurate. Our technique takes only 6 seconds at bedside. We've brought this technique into the operating room, which allows a clinician to have a real-time results in only 6 seconds, in contrast to the 14-day turnaround time and the various clinical team that's required to provide a result. We've also made our products safe and secure and agnostic to any of the existing endobronchial ultrasound towers. This is what the market wants now. We have built this technology over 7 years of clinical research from McMaster University, and our user interface has been designed and developed through various consultation with Canadian surgeons all across Canada. We are ready now to run a multi-site clinical trial, and we've spoken to large OEM manufacturers or device manufacturers who are indicating that this is what the global market wants and is ready for. We are also at a readiness level to submit to FDA and Health Canada, and we are working through that process to get this critical technology into the hands of Canadians. We've also been in deep consultation with Dr. Kazu Yasufuku, who is actually the inventor of EBUS, who says that this technology is the future, and he wants to be a part of it. And so through the amazing INOVAIT funding, we are now able to work with Dr. Kazu Yasufuku at UHN, and we're able to test our technology in 100 Canadians in Toronto. But that's not where we'll stop. We'll also do this study here in Montreal, as well as in Hamilton with Dr. Moish Lieberman and Dr. Wael Hanna, This work will also support our efforts to try this technology out cross-country in Ottawa, Edmonton, and Winnipeg. This is a team that's going to make it happen. We are a diverse group of entrepreneurs, innovators, AI experts from Stanford University, bringing that talent back to Canada. And through the INOVAIT funding, we've been grateful to be able to hire 2 new Canadian employees who are going to build our product development and also help with our regulatory pathway. We are the future of endobronchial ultrasound, and we're grateful to be here today. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mackenzie. It's now my pleasure to invite Christian Sauvageau from Reveal Surgical. Christian.
Good to see you, Minister. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Minister.
See you again. It's good. It's
Good
good.
to
It's
see you
good.
too. And as you said, yes, there will be a surgery tomorrow where they're using it. So my name is Christian Sauvageau. I'm the CEO of Reveal Life Science. At Reveal, we use light and artificial intelligence to change the future or surgical cancer surgery. Right. Okay. Now let me tell you about Mary. She had a brain surgery. Despite her surgeon's best effort, cancer cells were left behind. She needed another operation. More trauma, more risk, more costs. Her story is far too common. Residual cancer is left behind, and it's one of the main reasons why patients face repeat surgeries. Right now in Quebec, 162,000 people are waiting for surgery. It's 1.2 million in Canada. Every day means suffering, complication, and higher costs. That's why we build Sentry. In just 2 seconds, powered by light and AI, Sentry tells the surgeon if this tissue is healthy or it's cancerous, right in the operation room, in 2 seconds. The goal is simple: one surgery, fewer complications, faster recovery. What we see in every tissue is a unique molecule fingerprint. We capture it with light. It translates in millions of data points into a simple yes or no. Behind that simplicity lies depth. 21 million data points from 500 surgery across multiple hospitals. Today, it means real-time brain surgery decision. Tomorrow, it will be breast cancer and other cancer. That's the power of our Reveal Atlas, turning complexity into simplicity. With the support of INOVAIT Fund and the Government of Canada, we are expanding Sentry beyond brain cancer into breast surgery. This accelerated validation will bring accelerated regulatory approval and will build a Canadian AI dataset created here for patients around the world. Our strength is that we're made in Canada. Our partner, Polytechnique Montréal, provides the science. The Neuro CRCHUM delivered the clinical validation. And us at Reveal Corporation, we integrate AI while surgery is happening. Together, we are a sovereign Canadian solution already gaining global recognition in the US and Europe. But our vision doesn't stop there. We are building the first Canadian cancer atlas, like the Human Genome Project, but for surgery. This database will provide the power in diagnosis and precision surgery for the world. But to do this, we need collaboration of biobanks, surgical program, the Government of Canada, and as you said so, investors. Together, we can become the global hub of AI-powered cancer surgery. In essence, Sentry turns AI into patient impact. One surgery, fewer complications, faster recovery, and a chance for Canada to lead in the AI-powered healthcare. Please visit us at the booth. We're out there. And you'll see in real term how this innovation works and is shaping the future. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Christian. Now, as our final speaker, it's my pleasure to introduce Gabriel Rivet from Scopia Tech.
All right, I'm closing out the show. Merci tout le monde. So my name is Gabriel, and I'm the co-founder of Scopia Surgical, a digital surgery company. Small disclaimer, there will be some mildly surgical footage for a few seconds just to warn everybody. I don't find it too bad, but still got to give a disclaimer just in case. So when I was young, typically road trips started like this. My dad would open up a very large paper map and try to figure out the maze that we were about to do for a couple of days or a few weeks. We made our life really significantly easier nowadays with real-time guidance and GPS and different tools. Oddly enough, we don't offer the same luxury to our physician nowadays. Surgeons are still using technology developed over 50 years ago to plan life and death decisions in the OR, where looking at 2D CT scans, they need to do complex mental reconstruction in 3D of the surgeries that are about to do in a day or two. And this is where Scopia comes in to give a high-tech facelift to minimally invasive surgery. So concretely, we're developing the world's first surgical navigation system for minimally invasive surgery, giving a heightened sense of precision to surgeons, real-time guidance with improved outcomes. So concretely, how does this work? So we do an automatic segmentation of the pre-op imaging, CT or MRI, and then we will do a high-fidelity reconstruction of that anatomy in 3D to help the surgeon plan its cases. But we don't stop there. We actually import that 3D model into the OR and do an automatic overlay directly on the anatomy so we can project the location of the hidden anatomy to have heightened and more precise surgery to avoid damages to critical structures such as the ureter in this video, plan margin tumors, and other complex oncological cases. So our AI is built on three safe pillars, if you could say. The first one is that we work on a privacy by design where we hold no patient information. This is extremely important. We also plan to cater to a diverse set of population in Canada and North America. And so it's important that we use a diversified data set that represents our target and underrepresented population, especially in gynecology surgery. And then finally, surgeons, while they love AI, they're demanding safety and to better understand how we're making decisions. So we have a lot of rail guard and explanation and confidence rate around the AI that we're providing, our algorithm, and how we make our decision making directly in the OR. Yeah. And so our INOVAIT grant is being used right now in partnership with Scopia Surgical, obviously, but also the University of Alberta, as well as the ETS in Montreal. This will help us advance our R&D efforts to automatically segment the anatomy, but then also do that complex registration with the surgical feed in the OR and then track the camera. But most importantly, that funding is being used to create IP in Canada, create jobs in Canada, and have an impact on patients directly here at home. So we're really excited to show you the result of these efforts in the year to come with the funding that we've been able to receive from INOVAIT, and we look forward to showing you the result. Thank you. I want to make sure you have time to do your vote. We've been being told hurry up. We're taking too much time. You're good to go. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
For your remarks, we only have 2 minutes. Or you can do it while you're talking.
I can do it. First of all, that was incredible. Can we give all the presenters a great round of applause? That was remarkable. They were doing this under ridiculous stress. You were told that if I have to leave to vote, I'm going to vote like in 1 minute in front of you anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I want to say a few things about the innovation that we saw today. And as you see, I take notes. These are some of the most remarkable uses of AI that I've seen. And when we talk about using AI to build our future, it seems abstract. When you talk about the use of AI to change our healthcare system, to reduce wait times, to make sure there's not second surgeries, that's incredible. I will say I was supposed to be at the reveal surgery tomorrow. Our director of communications will be there to film part of it. Their first surgery that will go live tomorrow, which will be great. I won't be able to be there, but I would have loved to be there. Thank you so much. But the other thing is all these CEOs, all these founders, our nation builders, they're the people that are taking this technology and showing the rest of the country that AI is a benefit, that AI is going to change their life, that our healthcare system will get better. And the work you've done at INOVAIT has been absolutely incredible. So to everybody in this room, I want to thank you. I want to encourage you to connect with these companies. As you say, visit their booths. Check it out. These are really important. They represent our competitive advantage. And maybe one day you'll need this technology in your own life, and it will happen because it does. Again, Reveal, we're looking forward to getting your story about that detection system, and which through molecular detection and light, fantastic. And the work that you just talked about at the Polytechnique Montréal and Université, the Health Center at McGill, where both my kids went and I went, so that was good, is fantastic to see. Look, we are committed to championing all this with you, the connections, the funding, the mentorship, but the learning and the sharing of your stories. That's why programs like INOVAIT provide the value that is way beyond just the capital. It's the partnership and the demonstration and the community. So healthcare is a priority. So let's celebrate. Now, it is exactly 3 o'clock, so do you want to see democracy in action? This is what it's like. First, you got to sign in. And hold on. Are we voting yet? Is it in action? Okay. I have time. They're delayed. Shocker. Parliament's not on time. Again, thank you, Raphael. Incredible work. Incredible work to all the real stars here who are the innovators. I love seeing those demonstrations. Politicians could learn from you. You guys did something in 2 minutes that we don't do. So thank you. Another round of applause for these incredible innovators. Merci. Raphael.
So thank you so much, Minister Solomon. And I will say, I did see him take over a page of notes as he was paying attention. So it is really nice to see the government so engaged in innovation and in healthcare innovation. INOVAIT was created to scale up the image-guided therapy sector in Canada by funding image-guided therapy projects that integrate artificial intelligence to improve the way that we diagnose, treat, and monitor patients. I think it's clear from the presentations that we have incredible companies creating impactful products from coast to coast. Canada really is a great place to build a healthcare AI company. So once more, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Minister Solomon and your team. Thank you to All In for having this meeting. And thank you to the AI folks for making this run smoothly. Have a great day.